A silent revolution is sweeping through the neon-lit corridors of 2026, a generation rising from the digital ashes of a hyper-stimulated world. They were born into the noise, fed on a diet of instant gratification and hollow pixels that left their souls feeling perpetually empty and very drained today. The transition from a connected world to a depleted one happened so slowly that many failed to notice the fire dying in their eyes. But today, a new breed of young men is waking up to the chilling reality that they have been systematically stripped of their core, masculine power. They have realized that the hypersexualized landscape of the 2020s was a trap, a biological cage designed to keep them docile, distracted, and easily controlled. The swipe life promised pleasure, but delivered a crushing loneliness that no algorithm could ever hope to fix or heal for their spirits. The hook is the terrifying realization that your phone is a parasite, drinking your vital essence through your eyes while you sit in the dark. You are being farmed for your attention and your life force, traded on a global market of distraction that views your potential as a mirror. In 2026, Gen Z has turned toward semen retention as the ultimate act of rebellion against a matrix that wants them weak and very compliant. They are no longer interested in the hollow promises of the digital age, seeking instead the raw, unyielding power of their own. Social proof is exploding across the encrypted networks, where young titans share stories of mental clarity and a physical presence that feels almost supernatural. They are reporting a frequency shift that allows them to move through a chaotic world with a calm, predatory, and very. The science of 2026 has finally caught up with the ancient wisdom, confirming that the dopamine fast is incomplete without the preservation of the seed. Researchers are baffled by the sudden spike in cognitive performance among those who choose to hold their internal fire and very sacred. This obsession is not about Puritanism. It is about performance, a strategic optimization of the human vessel in an age dominated by artificial intelligences. To compete with the machines, these young men realize they must become something more than human, a biological upgrade fueled by their. They are reclaiming the ancestral fire that their grandfathers took for granted, a deep-seated vitality that allows them to stand tall in a world of ghosts. They are tired of being the tired generation, opting instead for a life of high-voltage intent and a very powerful. The trend is moving from the fringes of the internet to the very center of the global consciousness, as high-achieving influencers reveal their secret habits. The retained man is the new archetype of 2026, a figure of mystery, strength, and an unmistakable, radiant aura of internal. Young men are forming retention circles, brotherhoods based on the shared goal of self-mastery and the Herdefire, protection of their collective masculine and very powerful energy. They are finding a sense of belonging that the digital world destroyed, a tribal connection rooted in the fire of. They are noticing that their skin clears, their voices deepen, and their ability to focus on complex tasks triples within the first 30 days of discipline. This is the biohacker's gold, a natural enhancement that requires no subscription, no pill, and no permission from any external. The obsession stems from a deep, soulful hunger for something real in a world that has become increasingly artificial and very difficult to navigate today. Retention provides a tangible physical anchor in a sea of digital illusions, a reminder that they are still made of. As they move through the streets of 2026, these retained men are easily identified by the steady, unblinking intensity of their gaze and their powerful movements. They are the ones who are not looking at their phones, but at the horizon, waiting for the future they. They are rediscovering the joy of the slow burn, the gradual accumulation of power that comes from saying no to the instant and the very hollow. This is a generation that has seen the end of the world and decided to build a new one with. The emotional weight of this shift is profound, as young men finally feel the weight of their own souls returning to their physical and very tired bodies. They are no longer floating through life like leaves. They are rooting themselves into the earth like powerful, ancient. They are mourning the years they lost to the screen, but that grief is being transformed into a fierce, protective determination to never be weak again. Every day of retention is a victory over the version of themselves that was a slave to a digital dark. The suspense of the 2026 revolution is the question of what these empowered young men will actually do with the massive energy they are now holding. We are witnessing the birth of a new leadership class, a generation of titans who are no longer afraid of. They are utilizing their increased creativity to solve the problems that the previous generations ignored, moving with a speed and a clarity that is truly. They are the architects of the new reality, building systems that reflect their own internal and very high-level masculine. The Matrix is terrified of this trend because a man who can control his own sexual energy is a man who cannot be bought or manipulated. You are watching the collapse of the old control systems, replaced by the sovereign authority of the retained masculine, and it is a journey back to the source, a spiritual homecoming for a generation that was told they had no purpose and no real lasting value. They are finding God in the silence of their own restraint, a presence that vibrates within their own full end. Tears of a powerful collective relief are being shed as young men realize they don't have to live in the shadows of their own low desires. They are stepping into the light of their own potential, a radiant, golden future that is finally within their own. The obsession with retention in 2026 is a signal that the human spirit is finally fighting back against the technological darkness that sought to extinguish it. We are seeing the return of the hero's journey, a path of discipline that leads to the stars, and you are witnessing a genetic reset as the bloodlines of the future are being purified by the choices of the men who are living right now today. This is the most important movement of the century, a silent war for the heart of the entire human, and the suspense of your own life is tied to this revolution. Will you be one of the leaders, or will you remain a ghost in the machine? The door is open, and the fire is waiting for you to claim it as your own, wholly. And as the sun sets on the old world, the retained men of Gen Z are standing on the rooftops, their hearts beating with the rhythm of a new. They are ready for the challenges of 2026, for they have mastered the most difficult challenge of all the mastery of. The emotional end of this script is the realization that you are part of something much bigger than your own individual and very small human life. You are part of a lineage of strength, a chain of fire that spans the ages and the very stars. The future is not written in code, but in the blood of the men who choose to hold their fire and to live with absolute, total. You are the retained man, the warrior of 2026, and the one who has finally, beautifully, and eternally learned how. The screen of the digital age is flickering out, but the light within you is growing brighter with every single day of your own long-term discipline. You are the revolution, you are the fire, and you are finally, beautifully, and eternally the master of your own. The final silence of the script is the silence of a world that is waiting for you to speak your truth and to lead the way. You have the power, you have the seed, and you have finally, beautifully, and eternally learned how to truly and fully